Good afternoon. My name is Allie, and I am here in the Sam Houston State University Library with Alyssa, Sarah, Allie, and Emily. We will be discussing INTASC Standards. If you don't already know, INTASC stands for Interstate New Teacher Assessment and Support Consortium, which means it is an association that helps teachers find resources to be effective and help students reach yearly progress and career-ready standards. There are 8 different standards that we, Cohort 2, discuss to analyze how teachers can accommodate. INTASC has written examples of modern core teaching standards. The first standard states, the teacher creates developmentally appropriate instruction that takes into account individual learners' strengths, interests, and needs, and that enables each learner to advance and accelerate his or her learning. The question becomes, why is it important for the teachers to take into account individual learners' strengths and interests? I believe this is important because each student learns and remembers differently. An important part of teaching is Bloom's taxonomy, and the base for Bloom's is remembering and understanding. If the teacher can tailor lessons and activities differently throughout the course for each student's learning, there is a greater chance that the students will remember later on down the line what they have learned in that lesson and will be able to apply in other lessons, which is another part of Bloom's. William and Ochan Powell say that educators must understand that the business of coming to know our students as learners is simply too important to leave to chance, and that the peril of not understanding this inquiry is not reaching a learner at all. Unless we can teach each learner the way they learn best and personalize the lessons, students will not be able to thrive in the learning environment individually or in groups. Another thing that teachers have to do is to be able to access the students' prior knowledge and experiences. Allie is going to tell us how teachers can access prior knowledge in the students and how to get them to demonstrate prior knowledge.
The teacher uses understandings of individual differences in diverse cultures and communities to ensure inclusive learning environments that enable each learner to meet high standards. Standard 2 states the teacher designs instruction to build on learners' prior knowledge and experiences, allowing learners to accelerate as they demonstrate their understandings. There are many ways that teachers want and need to assess the prior knowledge of their students. One of the main reasons is to know where they need to begin teaching and reviewing to make sure the children are ready for the new material for the year. The most used way to see the knowledge that the students have in their brain is to test them on what they already know. Carnegie Mellon University states, students come to the classroom with a broad range of pre-existing knowledge, skills, beliefs, and attitudes, which influence how they attend, interpret, and organize incoming information. How they process and integrate new information will in turn affect how they remember, think, apply, and create new knowledge. Not only does finding the student's pre-existing knowledge help the teacher, but it also helps the students process and learn the new information being taught. Now to Alyssa as she talks about respect in the classroom.
Standard 3 states that the teacher works with others to create environments that support individual and collaborative learning to boost motivation. The teacher collaborates with learners and colleagues to develop shared values and expectations for respectful interactions, rigorous academic discussions, and individual and group responsibility for quality work. How can teachers create a respectful classroom environment? Creating a respectful classroom for your students is an important factor when becoming a teacher. Dr. Linda Duesenberry, a researcher and expert in evidence-based prevention strategies designed to promote student competencies and motivation, explained different strategies that can help create a respectful and safe environment for children to learn. The classroom should be organized and characterized by mutual respect so it can make it easier to teach more effectively. She also explains that in order for the kids to learn, they need to feel secure. She suggests that future and current teachers use interactive approaches such as small groups and cooperative learning because it is important to create a classroom where students feel comfortable asking questions and contributing to discussions so that they can further their academic success. Dr. Duesenberry made it very clear to make the classroom feel like a safe place so the students can participate and ask questions. She also explains that no matter what the child says, teachers need to make it a habit to respond with respect. Modeling respect in your classroom will show your students how to show respect for one another. She also states that you have to set a good example if you want your students to abide by the respect rule. Also, Dr. Mary Ellen Weimer talks about how to incorporate respect in the classroom. While she was teaching a junior level course, a student in her class made a racist remark. Luckily, the remark didn't relate to anybody in the class because there was no diversity in the classroom. She couldn't let the comment pass, so she confronted him in front of the class. She told him that the remark was inappropriate and also threatened him with consequences. She later thought about how she could have handled the situation better so it wouldn't happen again. She explained that she stood up for the climate of respect in the classroom but hadn't done the most important thing, help the students realize that the comment was as damaging to those they target as they are to those who make them. She also suggests that it's the actions teachers take in providing leadership and modeling the type of behavior we expect. Students learn respect from teachers firsthand. Now we go to Emily with promoting student learning.
Standard 4 states the teacher understands the central concepts, tools of inquiry, and structures of the disciplines he or she teaches and creates learning, and that encourages positive social interaction, active engagement in learning, and self-motivation. The teacher stimulates learner reflection on prior content knowledge, links new concepts to familiar concepts, and makes connections to learners' experiences. Why are these steps important in helping promote student learning? It is important for you as the teacher to understand the central concepts, tools of inquiry, and to make sure you create learning experiences that make discipline accessible and meaningful for the students, because students are coming to school to get an education. Their education is in your hands. It is important for you to create a learning environment that the student will want to be in. If you are enthusiastic, students will be more willing to learn and less likely to cause problems during your lesson. An additional way to help the learning environment is to compare the learning to real-world experiences. By doing so, it makes it more understanding for some students. A way to incorporate this into your teaching is by telling stories about personal experiences. According to Connecticut's Common Core of Teaching, elementary teachers know, understand, and use major concepts, principles, theories, and research related to the curriculum of development of children from pre-kindergarten through early adolescence. They construct learning opportunities that support the development, learning, and motivation of the individual child.
Standard 5 is the application of context in that the teacher understands how to connect concepts and use differing perspectives to engage learners in critical thinking, creativity, and collaborative problem solving related to authentic local and global issues. Why is it important for students to have opportunities to employ a variety forms of communication that address varied audiences and purposes? The students we will have in our classrooms will all have many different learning styles and will eventually have different jobs that require different skill levels. USA Today published an article, 5 Reasons Everyone Should Take a Public Speaking Course, because the experience it offers will provide job skills that employers seek, it will help you in your other classes, public speaking will make you a better listener, and it encourages you to voice your ideas and face your fears. Speech and presentations are not the only forms of communication. Technology is another big one. According to Margaret Nowicki, in her paper submitted for her master's teaching program, she discusses the use of technology in and out of the classroom, particularly the effectiveness of technology as a communication tool outside of the classroom. She talks about the usefulness of social networking capabilities and methods of post-class communication, which provide the students with another means of contact if they are not able to visit the instructor in their office or reach the instructor by phone. Advances in these various forms of communication allow for more collaborative work in the classroom. Standard 6 asks, why is it important for teachers to work collaboratively with other teachers to analyze data? With Standard 6, the teacher must understand and use multiple methods of assessment to engage learners in their own growth, to monitor learner progress, and to guide the teacher and learners' decision-making. Collaboration provides opportunities to learn from colleagues, and having another teacher help out with lesson plans and analyze data shares expertise and reduces the outcome of mistakes. Now, Alyssa and Emily will further discuss collaboration with professional experts.
So Standard 7 states that the teacher plans instruction that supports every student in meeting rigorous learning goals by drawing upon knowledge of content areas, curriculum, cross-disciplinary skills, and pedagogy, as well as knowledge of learners and the community context. The teacher plans collaboratively with professionals who have specialized expertise to design and jointly deliver as appropriate learning experiences to meet unique learning needs. How can teachers plan collaboratively with other professionals who have specialized expertise? When teachers work together and are able to collaborate, they have second opinions and brains to pick from with the same expertise they have themselves. When teachers have a second eye to go over data, they know for sure they are doing the right thing and making the right choices.
Teachers can have an educator come into class and talk about what they specialize in. An example of this is when an expert came in to talk about project-based learning. Both students and educators can learn from this.
Standard 8 states, the teacher collaborates with learners to design and implement relevant learning experiences, identifying their strengths and accessing family and community resources to develop their areas of interest. What are some benefits in collaborating with learners to design and implement instruction? Collaborating with other people and learners helps because we all learn differently and gives a way to bounce ideas off each other and find the most beneficial ways to do things. This also helps to make sure that you teach in a way to reach all the different multiple intelligences.
After analyzing the INTASC standards, we understand the teaching values that go into a strong classroom environment, a strong curriculum instruction, and the importance of teacher collaboration. Thanks for listening to Cohort 2 and have a great day.